Rule 19, goals awarded by handicap or by penalty. So goals awarded by handicap, goals scored on the field, goals scored on penalty shots, they all count the same, 1 point. And it has to be in the rule, but that's obvious to everybody. Okay, so handicaps. The aggregate of the 4 players on the team will be the team handicap. So you add up all the 4 players, you have team handicap. And a tournament will have a range, say an 8 to 12 goal. Your team has to be between 8 and 12 goals. So either 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12. Okay, that's what your team has to be. And if you have a 12-goal team playing a 10-goal team, the 10-goal team will have 2 goals in handicap based on a 6-chukker game. If the game is 4 chukkers, it will not be the full handicap. You'll have to use the matrix to determine what that handicap would be. So for example, if the 10-goal team is playing a 12-goal team, and in 6 chukkers they would have been awarded 2 goals, in 4 chukkers you just go down to 2 goals in 6 chukkers, to 2 goals in 4 chukkers will be probably 1 or 1.5, something like that. Use the matrix. It's actually a formula that is calculated as, say, if 4 chukkers is if 4 is 2/3 of 6, so 4 chukkers is 2/3 of 6 chukkers, then the handicap will be 2/3 of the full handicap, but never less than a half. Or it's never, if there is any handicap at all, it will never be round down to 0. It'll always be at least a half. So with all that being said, just use the matrix. That's all you need to know about handicaps. If you're not playing 6 chukkers, then it won't be a straight handicap add and subtract situation. You just use the matrix. They did the math for you. Don't try to do math. Even umpires do it wrong. Don't do it. Just use the matrix. Did I mention use the matrix? Use the matrix. Okay. In events above 6 goals, half goal ratings, so -1/2, 1.5, 0.5, those will all be rounded down. So if you're half a goal and you're playing in a 12-goal tournament, you're going to be 0. Okay? I don't know eventually what they're going to do with these half goals. It's an interesting concept. I don't know how well it worked. I really don't know. I don't like half goals because they can be difficult to calculate, but I love them when it makes there no overtime. So it solves that problem. But anyway, long story short, if it's 6 goals and under, you will use your half goal ratings. And then if you have a 4-chukker game that's under 6 goals and you have players with half goal ratings, that's when you really need to use the matrix. So get your handicap differential between the 2 teams, take it to the matrix, go over from the handicap differential, go over to how many chukkers you're playing. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then figure out what the handicap is by that. So use the matrix. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Okay, and the host tournament committee will determine if the tournament is going to be played on the handicap, in other words, awarding goals based upon the different handicaps of the team that fit within the tournament rating, or an open. So the host tournament committee could say, we're having a tournament and it's going to be 8 to 12 goals, but we're going to play it on the open, which means your team still has to fit between 8 and 12 goals, but there'll be no awarding of handicaps. The U.S. Open is a great example of that. It's not called the U.S. Handicap, it's called U.S. Open. Years ago, they used to have the Cartier Open and Handicap. You were actually playing 2 tournaments with 1 game. You were playing an Open, and then you were playing a Handicap. So if you lost in the Open, you might win in the Handicap. It got a little goofy, but you know what? It was interesting. So anyway, you can have a handicap. You don't have to. Up to the host tournament committee. And goals are goals, no matter where you get them. And use the matrix. I think I might have mentioned that. So that is Rule 19. Goals by handicap or penalty.